On the 8th day of Christmas, 87 gave to me. Before we start, please subscribe, like this video, and jingle the bell. You all know how the heartless algorithm works. Or do we? Maybe it could be a future SCP story? A Christmas tale from the SCP Foundation. Snow, cookies, present. 8 wrong addresses later, they came upon the proper tree farm. Tristan Bailey, Christopher Hastings, and Catherine Sinclair all stood before the Terra Incognita tree farm. Or at least, that's what the sign out front claimed it was. The only problem is that there appeared to be no trees, nor a farm, and there seemed to be a distinct lack of anything incognita as well. Tristan frowned. I don't get it. I know I bought it from here. Looks like you got duped. Catherine sighed. God damn it. Why can't we have any normal holidays in this town? We live in Sloth's Pit, Dr. Sinclair, Christopher said, breathing into his gloved hands. Normal is relative, and in this town, it's a distant cousin 5 times removed that lives on Pluto. That metaphor really got away from you, Hastings. Tristan frowned and stepped over the threshold to the farm, past the sign, and vanished. Sinclair started. Shit! Christopher's jaw hit the ground. Did we just lose one of the sons of Tyler Bailey? Weiss is going to have our asses on a platter. Tristan's head poked out of thin air. His body didn't follow. You guys okay? Sinclair regained her composure. Right, just as I suspected. Illusory magics. Well, let's proceed. Christopher coughed, which, by sheer coincidence, sounded like the word bullshit. Tristan nodded and vanished again. Chris and Catherine followed and found themselves in a very different place from Sloth's Pit, Wisconsin. It was colder, for one, and there was actually snow. There were trees everywhere, ranging from 5-foot-tall Douglas firs to over 100-foot-tall spruces, all of which had price tags on them. The largest pine tree was the size of a skyscraper, so big that the entire place was in the shade of it. Sinclair gaped at it. Bailey, yes, Sinclair, you bought a Christmas tree from a magic tree farm, and you didn't notice? I may have been slightly drunk at the time. Welcome. A voice from nearby greeted them. Turning, Chris saw that it was a tall, white-haired being with pointed ears. He looked at Tristan. The being spoke in a soft, sweet-sounding voice. Hello. You left your credit card here. You know. Sinclair and Chris stared at Tristan, who looked ashamed. All right. I was plastered. Went out drinking with some people from Multi-U and had too much booze in the eggnog. Chris rubbed his face. That's beside the point. He looked over towards the elf, resisting the urge to ask if his name was Legolas. Sorry, but who are you? I am one of Alfheimer. Your friend here purchased a tree from us for the solstice celebration. He nodded to Tristan. He seemed quite happy with the purchase. But, as he said, he was intoxicated. He held out a credit card to Tristan, who took it sheepishly. Thanks. Listen, there have been some complications with the tree. Oh, ask the one of Alfheimer. Are you unhappy with the root? Is its enchantment not working? If by enchantment you mean making its own decorations, then it's working perfectly fine, said Sinclair. Excellent. The elf clapped its hands together. Then I presume you only returned for the credit card, or do you wish to purchase more? We're just wondering if it's safe. Honestly, Chris said. We've been studying it. And studying? The elf frowned. You're one of the Foundation? Then, and before you ask, yes, we know about you. You aren't terribly well liked. You know. Dr. Sinclair's hand balled up, and she rubbed at the scars on her arm. Look, we just want to know if something's going to happen to the tree that might hurt us. Nothing at all. The elf smiled. Unless Of course, it was within the vicinity of a Krampus. We don't terribly like those things. Tristan and Chris stared at Catherine, who stared, rubbing the back of her neck. About that. The elf stared back. Oh, by the All-Father. Are you serious? Well, at least you didn't damage it. Define damage, Chris said, looking nervous. Well, so long as you didn't break an ornament. It should be, you broke an ornament, didn't you? Chris nodded. I wanted to see what the inside of one of those candles looked like. For Wotan's sake, the elf threw up his arms. This is why my kind don't deal with your organization. You always mess up everything. How bad is it going to be? The elf thought for a moment and simply said, do you have the means to escape a universe at your disposal? Tristan spoke up. As a matter of fact, yes. Then I suggest you all run into there and escape this one. With that, the elf walked off. Tristan stared. Did I just instigate an XK scenario? He was probably exaggerating. I'll ask the Krampus about it tomorrow, Catherine said, smiling nervously. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and comment. Subscribe and jingle the Christmas bell.